This prison is very bizarre. Researchers selected 20 people who came to experience prison life. 8 people play the role of fully equipped prison guards. 12 people with bare hands pretending to be prisoners. Everyone is doing their job right. Just only past 2 weeks. It is possible to get $10,000. At first, everyone was happily playing together, like playing basketball, throwing balls in jail. There is no problem. But when we eat rice, their friendship soon overthrew. One of them was allergic to cow's milk, but the warden forced him to drink. So Mike took the bottle of clean drinking milk. The prison returned, feeling his power is intimidating. A compromise begins. Decided to let the fat jailer get hit by the ball in the head to flare August. One person made a mistake, the whole room was punished. As a matter of fact, everyone obeyed. This caused them to experience a sense of power for the first time. The next day's meal, Mike stood up to oppose, stopping everyone from drinking cow's milk. Everyone immediately lay down to push up. But they were not aware of how serious this incident was, including Professor in the laboratory. The next morning, when the prison guard came to the clinic, Mike wanted to make fun of the warden, so he locked them up in the jail. Everyone was extending their arms and shouting, cheering for him to wear glasses. This action also made the researcher feel excited. In the end, he took the key and let them out. This also caused the prisoners to feel a sense of victory after being pressed for too long. At this time, the wardens turned off all the lights, opened the door of the jail, take the fire extinguisher and spray it directly at the prisoner. The bed was also pulled out, not letting them sleep. Even so fiercely sprayed, researchers still consider it common sense. Makes the degree even more serious. Finally, Mike was handcuffed to bars, killed the chicken and worship the monkey. As expected, after that day, the man allergic to cow's milk must drink all the milk. Even if you want to vomit, try to swallow. But Mike wasn't the least bit afraid. He was unafraid with the warden, because he knows that the experiment doesn't allow the use of violence. But he doesn't know. His nightmare has only just begun. When Mike was sleeping, the warden suddenly appeared, stuck the tape firmly into his mouth, wrapped 3 rings of tape around the leg. The 3 guards kept carrying him. Hiding from the camera, Mike struggled but was still taken to the cellar. They were tied tightly on chairs. At this point, the group leader took out a hair clipper, handed out and shaved a line from Mike's head. After this guy has finished shaving, then another person, they see it as a hobby. Only kind-hearted guy does nothing. The bastard said to Mike, "Next time don't provoke us. Otherwise I see you the next time, I will beat you." Although nothing harms the body, words are very damaging. The next day while writing a letter, Mike took the opportunity to hide his pen in his shirt, and his letter, also torn to pieces by Mike on the spot in front of the warden. This angered the prison guards. Mike was taken to the bathroom to clean the toilet. "If you are not clean, you must use your hand to hook." Then he immediately forced him to stand in front of another person, making him look ugly. Actually, it wasn't Mike that felt scared right now. It just feels like everyone has changed. The fat jailer brought him new clothes. Mike used the hidden pen from earlier to write a letter. "May you fat help me send it to Helen," was caught by the old man. Unexpectedly, he had not even stepped foot to the door, and was caught by the old man, so the fat man immediately became a prisoner. At this point, the researcher feels that there is something wrong with the situation, just about to call the professor, but he was restrained by the warden. Just like that, 2 people are locked in the jail. The incident took place more and more serious. Now Mike stepped forward to argue, but in exchange it was an extraordinarily dead. Fellow inmates see that looking at the camera and screaming test is finished, but neither received any response. The fellow inmate felt dissatisfied with him. As a result, he was hit by a stick. Finished cleaning the scene, Mike was locked in a dark room. The inmate was tied up in a chair, the blood was bleeding non-stop. The others were also gagged. Suddenly Mike discovered a screwdriver in the black room. At this time, the owner also comes back. As soon as he entered, immediately found his colleagues turned into prisoners. When she was bewildered, the pierced prison guard was standing behind her. At this time, a prison guard with his conscience immediately called the professor. The female hostess at this time was also locked in a jail. Turn the microphone down, turn on the music. This prison guard suddenly opened the door of the female host. Mike was locked in a dark room. Clenching his teeth, opened the door. Finally get out of the dark room. Vaguely crawled out, again in time to meet the prison guard. Without much words, he immediately punched him. The jailer was just about to fight back. As a result, one prisoner pinned syncope. Winning the key, everyone was released. The other guy, because he lost too much blood, did not survive. This time everyone decided to escape. Mike reached into the black room and pulled out the screwdriver. Raise your hand to screw on the wall. A spacious exit opened. But run forever, running to the dead end again. In the end, it was still being caught by the wardens. Professor, after receiving the news, immediately went there. The scene before his eyes make him surprised. Suddenly a prison guard rushed forward, assuming he is still challenging them. Lee? NB? NG? OS? M? TPH? T. He ran to the outside when he encountered a fat prison guard, just about to go up to explain, but decided not to believe him anymore. Scared him fat, turn around, bing? Immediately hit on the big door. The instinctive reaction is to go ahead and punch the opponent, then used force to lift the fire extinguisher. One more person went to paradise. This side, Mike is also being blocked by the head. The two people started fighting. Like emptying all the pressure for so long. By Mike carelessly. The prison guard immediately stabbed him with a knife. Fortunately, Mike has been able to skillfully refrain from taking knives. Repressed in pain, pulled out a knife. At this time a prisoner also caught the prison guard, then used the force to tighten the knot to serve him. Finally, Mike still has to forgive him. The other prisoner also gradually let go. The film also gives us a lesson. Having power in hand should not be arrogant, being a human must be humble. And should not live the life of others, but live with yourself.